The next two tools I'd like to show you can be used for editing blemishes, but they could also be used if you manage to get a photo that might have something on it that you want to remove or cover up, etc. So let's go to our Google Classroom and we'll get down the patch tool and clone stamp, which is F7. And we'll open this and bring it down. So first things first, let's talk about the patch tool as I bring this in here. The patch tool can be used in a couple of different ways. I don't use it all that much, but it could be helpful for you. So I do just want to show you what you can do with it. The patch tool is located underneath our spot healing tool. So you do just need to click and hold down on that little band-aid and you'll see the patch tool. It's the third one down. So with the patch tool, what we're going to do is we're actually going to zoom in on his jersey where it says Bruins. And then we're going to use our patch tool. And with the patch tool, what you do is you actually draw a almost like a marquee, like a selection that you would want to make. So let's watch first and then we can practice again together. So I'm going to draw just a kind of area of yellow, and this might not be big enough. We'll see. I might have to make it a little bit bigger. But what I do is I draw this selection, and then what I do is I pick it up and I move it. And you can either duplicate something, like you could do a Bruin on Bruins kind of a thing. I'm going to undo that and then deselect. Or if you wanted to, you could circle the area that you want to cover up. So like I could circle this Bruins section. And then I could pull this down until it is all yellow and let go, and we would end up getting rid of the front of the logo. Now, yes, I know you can still kind of see the lines, and part of that is because he's got this kind of wavy ripple effect happening in his jersey. But sometimes we get a picture of someone maybe wearing, it's a great picture, but maybe they have something maybe offensive on their shirt, or maybe they have like a swear word or whatever it happens to be. This is a quick way to eliminate that product from their spot. Same thing that the patch tool can do, also the clone stamp tool can do. So you kind of have to choose which one you like best. That was the patch tool we just did. So let's try that together with the patch before we go too far. So what I want you to do is zoom in on the Bruins. Actually, I want to zoom out just a tish. And then we grab our patch tool and we circle the area we want to end up covering up. So I'm just going to circle. The closer you can get to that area, the better. It'll be more accurate. And then just slide down. I'm going to try to line up that kind of crease there to help make that area blend a little bit better. I think that's better. You can kind of see here with my mouse how I kind of lined those up a little bit better. So we get rid of that Bruin logo. Now, as I was saying, the other tool you can use is called the clone stamp tool. So I'm going to zoom in kind of on the brown area of his jersey that has the Nike sign. And what I'm going to show you how to do, we'll watch first and then we'll practice together. The clone stamp tool is actually underneath your pattern stamp tool. So again, this is the tool that's right below your brush. Just hold it down and then you'll see the clone stamp tool. Go ahead and grab that. The clone stamp tool has a little bit, it just has one more step. So what we have to do here is we actually have to set what's called our target. So where are we actually going to clone from? So I'm going to clone from this brown area down here. So what I do is I hold my Alt key down, and you'll see that your mouse changes to almost it's like a little target. And what you do is you just hold your Alt key down and then you click one time with your mouse. And now when you move your mouse over it, you're going to see that your mouse is brown. So what you start doing now is you just sort of start painting. And I know it's very hard to see, especially because I chose brown here, which wasn't my best gig. But you can actually see the little crosshair showing from where you're painting from. So this is one way that you can actually go ahead and create and cover up something as well that maybe we don't want to have. You can always set it, you can come up here and set 2. The thing you have to be careful of, and I want to see if I can do this here in a way that isn't too bad. If you go too far, let's say I'll go from down here. If you go too far, like here, if you can see my little crosshair is actually in the yellow. You just have to be careful where you're cloning from, because you might duplicate that in a way that doesn't actually look good. So you just have to be careful how close you clone to a different color, because that obviously would affect your ability to see the Nike sign. So let's try that together now. I'm just going to go back on my history panel. So we go and get our clone stamp tool, and then we go over to the area where we want to clone from. So we're cloning from this brown area. So what that means is I have to hold my Alt key down, and I click my mouse one time to set my target. Then I can come up onto the area that I want to clone over, and then with my mouse I just sort of click and drag, being mindful of where my little crosshair is, because if I get too close to the edge of something, then I'm going to end up painting white or yellow or whatever it happens to be. So you can always stop and reset your target and then clone some more, which is what I just did. I like to do that frequently so that I get the pixels that are closest to the area. So just feel free to practice. Practice is your best option here until your whole Nike symbol has been covered up. And then you can see what that looks like off to the side. So we remove the Bruins, we remove the Nike logo. One of my favorite stories to tell about the clone stamp tool is that I had a student who had taken this really great photo of a group of gentlemen, and one of the gentlemen happened to be giving a hand gesture to the camera. And let's just say that the gentleman was missing some fingers except for one. And what my student actually ended up doing, because she liked the photo so much, is using the clone stamp tool. She actually cloned in 4 more fingers so that he just looked like he was holding his hand up instead of flipping everybody off. So you can definitely get creative with this tool. Don't feel limited in how you use it. So that's actually a really neat way that you can do that. The clone stamp tool, I should say, not the patch, because obviously that's not as easy to do. So she cloned in 4 fingers. So, and then we ended up using that image in the yearbook. So, some really good tools to use when it comes to having to edit out either things that shouldn't be there or adding in things that should. So that's the patch tool and the clone stamp tool. And you can go ahead and close this file. We are done with that for the day.